All right, here we go with the big part of the hat project. I've gone ahead and cast on my 49 stitches, and then, well, I guess I haven't finished my 49 stitches yet, but I'm doing those last few here to show you what I've already showed you in previous videos. So loop through, pass it over, and there we go. There's my 49. Now I'm going to pull my cord to bring my project so that both sides are close to each other. Make sure that your foundation row is pointing the same direction the whole way around. If you're new at this, you'll understand why when your project starts to feel a little wonky. And now I am removing the last loop that I cast on, and I am taking my first loop from the right hand side, moving it over to the loop on the left hand side, putting the other loop back on, and then I am basically leapfrogging it off. The nice thing about this technique is that it makes it adjustable in the end. Now what I'm doing is my first row of stretchy, which is knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. I'm starting off by inserting my yarn. Oh, here's a purl. I'm making sure that the yarn is on the back side, pull up a loop, cast it off. And now here goes my knit, which will be my second one of the project. The yarn is on the front, pull up a loop, and move it over to the other side. And here we go again, yarn towards the back, push the yarn towards the, pull a loop towards the front. So for my my knit, the yarn is always going to be on the front. For the purl, the yarn is always going to be on the back. And with this technique, which is continental style, I always have my working yarn to the left of me. I found that this technique is a little bit easier to see what's happening. Essentially, when I make a knit stitch, I'm moving the loop towards me. Every time I make a purl, I'm pushing the loop away from me. And what this ultimately does is it creates a 1x1 ribbing pattern, which is the basic, the stretchiest technique I found for all my projects. If you ever look close at any knit project, a sweater or anything like that, this is typically what you'll see is a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. Everything from hoodies to chunkier sweaters to even your coats. Anything that's knit is going to look like this. And with this project, your first row is going to feel a little tense, a little tight. That's normal. As you get further into the project, you'll feel your layers relax a little bit. So you might have to basically pull your cord in weird ways. Like here I am pulling my cord out just a little bit to make sure that I have enough tension to move my stitches around. And as you're working on the project, you will have to shift your stitches around because they'll kind of bunch up in places. It might feel a little awkward at first, but the longer you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it. Same with your yarn. In my case, a yarn cake. Sometimes you'll have to give it an extra little tug, especially if you're starting with the middle of your yarn cake, because it's a little tighter. As you work on the project, you'll get used to that. If you're working from a skein of yarn instead of a ball of yarn, it will want to roll around unless you're lucky enough to pull it from the middle and have it not get jammed up on the inside, which is kind of a crapshoot, but it's half the fun. Sometimes people will make their yarn into balls as well, which is helpful if you don't have a machine to make little cakes like I do. They're pretty cheap online. But if you find yourself in a situation where you want a better yarn solution that can kind of roll around freely or kind of come loose freely, a yarn ball is easy enough to make in a situation like that. Anyway, as you can see, continuing to work. So yarn to the front. Oh, here we go again. Yarn to the front, pull up a loop, pass it over to the right hand needle, yarn to the back, push up a loop, pass it over to the other needle, and here we are all the way at the other side already. Typically what I'll do is I'll do a couple more stitches for my next row, and then once I've done that, I will pull the bottom of it tight. If you made your slip knot correctly, that loose bit of yarn will tighten up, and then when you weave in your loose end at the end of the project, that'll keep it in place nicely. I've made probably about 50 hats this year, and I've never had a problem with them coming undone using this technique, so it's what I'd recommend. And here we go on the second row. Once you get into the second row, it's a lot, you can already tell it's a lot easier to work through everything. Even at the second row, you pretty much set your tension. I believe in this case I'm probably working with, I think, 9mm needles for a chunky yarn. I've done a lot of testing with this yarn. It's what I use the most, so I know it works well for me. And as you can see here, you're already starting to get your ribbing pattern become more obvious, where you have your little V's and then you have your little squiggles. So the V's are knit stitches and the little squiggles are purl stitches. And I will show you more in the next video.